I've done stupid shit in the past,
For sure.
years ago.
Absolutely.
Working on a receptacle without turning off the power. Bzz, my screwdriver got zapped. Luckily, I didn't get zapped.
Yeah. I've been there. I've been there.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
sure.
So
So don't plug a bunch of stuff in. Make sure that it's listed, that you're not buying this cheap stuff.
Yeah.
Watch the kids around it.
Yeah. Candles for all you romantics out there.
Yeah, so candles is another big one. How home fires start. If you're gonna be lighting candles, make sure that you're again staying in the room, that you're not leaving them around. We had a fire one time that unfortunately somebody lost their life behind candles, and it's because they left the candles unattended. I would say try and go flashlights now instead of candles. The holidays come up, right?
A lot of scented candles. A lot of people like to use scented candles, and that's fine. Just remember, don't put it underneath the drapes.
Absolutely.
Don't put it next to the paper towels. Just use your common sense.
For sure.
A lot of this is common sense.
For sure.
Yeah.
Right. That 3-foot rule again.
Yeah.
With candles.
Yeah.
No combustibles.
Is it on a wood table?
Right.
Is it on a granite table or a granite countertop? That's different. Having on granite falls over. Granite's not going to catch fire.
Right.
Everything around it might.
Right.
Yeah, you got to be careful. So a lot of that's just common sense.
Yeah. Monitor it.
So wake up, everybody. Here's a good one too. All right, storing combustible materials around water heaters and furnaces. A lot of homes have what's called a water heater closet. And some people think, oh, it's a great place to put my paper towels.
A closet.
Right? I go in there, combustible sitting right on top of the water heater. The heat that comes out of the top of that tank, that water heater, over time can heat that combustible material up enough to ignite it.
For sure.
So you got to be careful of that. I see it in furnace closets. Paper right behind the furnace pipe. I literally remove it when I see it. I take it out and I put it on the floor and I leave it there.
Right.
So they realize, oh shit, that shouldn't be there.
Right.
Because if no one's there when I'm there, I just leave it there on the floor.
Now, are you talking about the papers that come from the manufacturer that are taped to the side of it?
Yeah. You probably see that in attics a lot, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I see that in attics all the time. They'll leave it right next to the furnace, the exhaust pipe. So as soon as winter comes, you got an instant fire hazard.
Right.
So if somebody buys the house in the summer, they're not running the heater. Maybe they didn't have an inspection done. And then poof.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So furnace exhaust pipes. Yeah, so don't put anything combustible, once again, that can catch fire next to a gas-fueled appliance.
Right.
Because, you're dealing with the triangle again.
Right, for sure.
So be careful of that. And okay, let's break it up and have a little fun now.
Okay.
Tell me, have you ever, in your experience as a fireman,
I know what you're going to ask.
ever had the luxury and the pleasure of smashing a car window and running your hose through it to get to the fire extinguisher?
No.
You never get to do that?
But I've smashed out windows, though. Just no hose through to hook up to a hydrant.
Yeah.
No, we go around the cars, and thankfully their cars have parked far enough away from a hydrant. Not saying that they're still far as like what the law states, but yeah, I've never gone through.
You never had to go through the car.
No.
Oh, that would be great.
Because
you guys, I mean, you're an expert at destroying houses.
We are.
You guys are experts at that. So I do want to talk about that because that to me is interesting.
We're called the eradication team.
The eradication.
That's what the cops call us.
Yeah, eradicate. So you guys, well, I got an axe. By the way, how heavy are those axes?
Roughly 8 pounds.
Okay. And then how long is that handle on those axes? About what, 3 feet?
3 feet. Yes.
Yeah, about 3 feet. Yeah, that's a lot to swing there. So, so is there any rules for you guys when it comes? You're trying to save lives. Yeah, saving lives first and then structures. Is that how it works?
Absolutely.
Okay, so lives first, then structure. So if there's no lives in the building, it's about saving the structure. But you'll do that at any cost. You'll break anything you have to break to get to the fire source and put it out, right?
Yes.
That's basically it. So you guys get to do demo on a house that didn't need demo.
Right.
I love doing demo.
I do too. So here's something that we're supposed to always keep in the back of our minds is try before you pry. That's just not always the case.
See if it's unlocked.
See if it's unlocked.
What fun is that?
Right? Why'd you guys break out all the windows when the door was unlocked?
I just carried this 8-pound axe up 3 flights of stairs. You think I'm just gonna turn the knob? The hell with that. I'm gonna chop that knob off.
Absolutely.
Kick it in. What have you watched the movie Backdraft years ago?
Yes.
Okay. Is there any credibility to that whatsoever?
Very little.
Okay.
It's
all Hollywood.
It's all Hollywood.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I remember watching that.
I mean, responding and going to the basics, the fundamentals, yes, but they add a lot of extra to it.
That movie had a fireman who was starting fires. Yeah, that was an arson thing. And you ever have that happen?
Yes.
Really?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Okay, so how much does a fire truck cost?
So our truck $7.75 for certain ones.
Close to $1 million.
Close to $1 million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. You guys really good at keeping those things clean.
We try to.
Yeah, that's part of the routine because you guys live there for what, 4 or 5 days a week?
Right. So yes. Yeah, different departments have their different schedules, but usually 3-4 days out of the week.
Right. Are you a cook? Do you do all the cooking?
I do some of the cooking.
All
yes. Right. Yeah, we split it up. We have our rotations of whose turn it is to cook.
Interesting. Yeah, I see a lot of you guys grouping together going to Ralph's a lot.
We're always at the store.
I'm like, what's up, guys? Time to cook up some pasta.
That's part of our routine too.
Yeah. So have you ever had an experience where you may have thought you're not going to get out of a building? Have you ever been in a bad spot like that?
No.
Oh, no. Okay, good.
No. And the reason I say that is because of my training. Now, I've been in situations where it's been bad and stuff falling.
I can imagine, yeah.
Right? But no, I never felt that I was going to be trapped like a lot of these other guys. Yeah, no.
Just walking into a bad spot where they shouldn't have, or just not thinking, or maybe they couldn't see where they were going. Because you guys can barely have any visibility when the smoke's everywhere. So that's got to be scary.
It is. But going back to our training.
Yeah. You got to always go back to your training.
We always go back to our training, and we get accustomed to being in those environments. There's a couple different things that go on there. We have what's called like an offensive strategy or defensive strategy. There's a lot that goes into it, reading smoke, reading the fire. Mm-hmm. Should we be in there? Shouldn't we be in there? And also just, you could be in somewhere and the floor just give way to you. You get stuck. Yeah. Rafters, part of the roof.
You got to consider your own body weight and size when you're walking in, because like I said, the floors can give out.
Right.
You know, like being up in an attic on an old 1920s house and trying to put out a fire up there. Those things are only made out of 2x4s.
Right.
And there's a lot of flex in those things.
Right.
And they split a lot.
Right.
Even walking on those roofs, I'd be careful of, you know.
Right. So that's another thing is walking on roofs. We're, like you said, we're supposed to displace that that way. We all shouldn't be congregating in just one general vicinity.
Yep.
There's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah, you got what, 4 200-pound guys with all that gear on,
right?
Standing on that. I mean, how much does that gear weigh? Do you even know?
What does it weigh?
Oxygen tank, mask, hat, your jacket, pants.
About 100 pounds.
Yeah.
And then when it's wet, more than that.
Right. Right.
It's heavy. That's for sure.
Right.
It's heavy and it keeps the heat in. So it's.
Oh yeah.
What's
the? I don't know if you're sure if you can answer this or not, but what is walking up? What's the closest you can get to actual fire? I mean, what's the temperature we're talking about here?
Yeah. So our suits are rated for roughly 800 to 1,000. 1,200 degrees or so. The part that's going to fail first is our mask,
right?
That we wear. We can sustain some considerable amount of heat in those suits. What we don't want to happen is what's called everything in the room flashing, which that means everything in that room would ignite pretty much at the same time. So everything's reaching its ignition temperature.
It flashes. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's a phenomenon called flashing. So everything ignites pretty much at the same time.
And you can see that coming, or you don't see it? No, you don't see it coming.
No,
it just happens.
It just happens, and the way to survive that, the only way would be is if you're by a door, and you're able to get out within a few seconds. Other than that, everything's gonna flash. All your turnouts, you're obviously not gonna make it.
Right. Right.
So how we combat that is cooling the environment, and we use thermal imagers, and that'll tell us the temperatures, right?
So you guys actually use thermal imagers?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that. I've never seen any information on that where firefighters using that.
Yeah, it's been around for maybe the last 8 years or so.
Yeah, I use FLIR equipment.
Right.
Yeah, I have a couple different guns.
Yeah,
I use, and exactly for that, heat temperatures, cold temperatures, anomalies in walls and ceilings.
Yes.
Something looking strange, which may warrant a mold inspection or moisture check.
Right. Stuff
like that. So, okay. So do you have any, one thing I noticed about my listeners is they love a good story. Got any good stories you can share? Whether it, that's your discretion, how deep you want to go. I don't know. But what's the worst thing you might have come across?
The worst thing? You want me to?
Yeah, it's fine. Whatever you're comfortable with.
Yeah, so the worst thing that I've come across was it was a drug lab. Well, that's probably not the worst thing, but somebody passed away in that one, a drug lab.
A drug lab fire?
Yeah, it ended up being a structure fire. One person was in there. I've had suicides. I had somebody blow their half of their face and head apart.
What do you mean? They're rigging something up to literally blow themselves up? Is that what you're saying?
It was with a shotgun.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, so that person obviously wasn't alive. But then there's times where we'll get calls where vehicle accidents, or it's mainly vehicle accidents, where people's faces are are smashed. Their trachea is compromised, and we have to drop a tube, like cut them open and drop a tube because they can't breathe
Right.
through their mouth anymore or their nose.
Wow.
Been on those calls. This one call that I just had got to my department, and it came out as a vehicle rollover with multiple people inside. And we pull up on the side of where the bodies are at, and I step off the fire engine, and I see these two bodies there. And for the split second, I thought that somebody was drilling us, that it was like a staged
Oh, gotcha.
training exercise, because what they look like mannequins.
Mm-hmm.
Brains all over. Their bodies were just pale because all the blood was out of their bodies.
Right.
And that was it for a split second. Then I realized, whoa, this isn't
It's part of the accident.
right. This is real.
Wow.
So, yeah, I've seen a lot of things.
A lot of death.
A lot of death.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
That's got to be straining a bit on your your being, seeing all that.
You know what's interesting is I don't really like the sight of blood, which is interesting. I don't really care anymore. I've been doing it so long, but when I'm in that situation, I don't think about what I'm looking at. All I'm thinking about is what I have to do.
Sure.
So that's what's always got me through.
That's what gets you through it, doing the job.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that.
That's your training.
Right.
That's all your training, just kicking in. I'm here to do this. I can't stop and console. I got to just move.
Right.
You got to go.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. I can only imagine some of the stuff that you must run into. I mean, so I got to go back to the shotgun thing. Why was you called for a shotgun? Was there a fire there too?
No, I'm sorry. No, there was no fire.
Oh, okay.
That was completely different.
Oh, okay.
That was for a possible suicide.
But you get called on those just as paramedics?
Right.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I was kind of thrown off by when you said
Yeah,
that.
I'm sorry. Yeah, we get called to everything.
Mm-hmm.
I even I thought you were gonna first ask me, have I ever rescued a cat out of a tree? That's what I thought you were gonna say.
I'm going to ask you now. Have you ever rescued a cat out of a tree?
Unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, no. But I rescued a pit bull off of a roof once.
Yeah, you did. Did he bite you?
No.
Oh, that's cool.
I had all my gear on. I was like, that's all I can think about. Was this dog's gonna lock on to me? But he didn't.
He knew he was fucked.
Yeah.
He's like, this guy, I'm not going to bite this person.
Right. Yeah.
Wow. Just the other day on the news, I caught this little clip of there was a cop responding to an accident, and he was actually had his body cam on or something. His camera was in his car, and he's laughing about what he just found. Oh yeah, she's dead. Dude, that dude's in some trouble right now. I just thought of that when you were talking about the accident you had to go to. But like, wow. I mean, it's as plain as day. He had total disregard for what was going on. Oh yeah, she hit the windshield. She flew over the car. She's dead. And he's laughing as he was showing up to the scene.
Right.
Wow. You can't say anything like that. You can't, guys. There's cameras everywhere, man. That guy's in big trouble. He probably just lost his job right there. He's probably no longer a cop at this point.
Yeah.
He's gonna be in big trouble. So,
yeah,
that's some crazy stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Is there anything else that homeowners should know about fire that we didn't discuss that you might think of, or anything else?
No, I think we covered everything pretty well. Yeah, I would just say again, back to the awareness, like you keep saying, a lot of it's common sense.
Mm-hmm.
Be aware of these things in the in the house, preventative maintenance, if you will,
Right.
is what's gonna not cause fire, right?
Well, let me ask you this question. Here's a very straightforward question. Do you think smoke detectors save lives?
We forgot to touch on smoke detectors. Yes.
I mentioned it a little bit earlier, but we didn't.
Okay.
Yeah, but let's dig into smoke detectors right now. So let me ask you that question. So, do you believe smoke detectors save lives?
Yes.
Okay, so do I. I'm right there with you. And they're not expensive. So that's the part I always scratch my head about. Why has no one gone to the store and grabbed some of these and took a couple drywall anchors and just mounted them? This is not hard, people. This is like super, super simple thing to install. And nowadays you can get it with a combination carbon monoxide, which I think every house should have at least one or two. Why not have it? It's just so simple to put in. It's not like
Right.
you have to spend $30,000 to get this installed.
Right.
It's $30. Was it $40 for a combo unit nowadays? Something like that.
Yeah. Something.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Right.
You know, it could get you out of a house in case of a fire. It could get you out to save your life, save your family. You know, I just don't understand the logic behind people not taking the time to do that.
Right. Yeah. I think I have the statistics.
Oh yeah, you got some paperwork. What do you got there? I almost forgot about that.
Yeah, I have something here on actual smoke detectors, but let me take a gander here and see what according to the National Fire Protection Association, an average of 1,400 fire deaths occur every year in homes with missing or non-functioning smoke alarms. So yeah, it does. They do definitely prevent the loss of life. I think the biggest takeaway there is, like you're saying, that they don't cost that much. But here's something as well: if people can't afford them or whatever, I know that Red Cross had a program before.
Oh, okay.
That will give smoke detectors away to people that can't afford them.
Right.
I don't know how many they'll give away. They used to have that program, so that might be something that listeners can look into. Something else on smoke detector. Obviously, you're aware of how many you should have in the house, carbon monoxide detectors,
Yeah,
all of that.
as far as that goes, I would, the general rule from what I see at the job every day is, a smoke detector in each bedroom, carbon monoxide outside the bedrooms. So if there's if it's a big house and you got two sections, you have a right section, a left section of bedrooms, they should both have a CO out in the hallway, and each bedroom should have a smoke. But nowadays, like I said, get a combo and just have it. It just makes sense. I think it's financially affordable too.
Right. Yeah. And checking them, you hear the chirping a lot of times. That chirping happens roughly 1-2 o'clock in the morning. So we get a lot of calls for smoke detectors.
You mean because they're chirping because the battery's going low?
Right. So
people don't know what the signal is. So I'm not sure what the window is when they start chirping, like before the battery's going to die. But as it gets to a certain level of lowness on the battery, it'll start letting you know, hey, come change me.
right.
That's the smoke detector talking to you.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That gets ignored a lot.
Sure.
Also, you might have people that are on vacation or away from homes while it starts that chirping.
Yeah.
Yeah, nowadays it's all the smoke detectors now that are UL listed are supposed to be 10 years, right? With a non-replaceable battery in them. Yeah, those things chirp at early in the morning because of a temperature differential.
Oh,
So if that battery is already starting to go low, but it hasn't chirped yet, that's when they want to chirp and wait, and we have to go.
Okay.
So we get a lot of calls at those hours.
So you just take your axe and knock it off the ceiling?
No.
You guys actually change the batteries?
No.
No. You just advise them.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, we'll take it off for them.
A couple 9 volts. Yep.
Yeah, we'll take it off for them.
Right.
And pull it out and silence it for them. But
not with the axe.
no.
I'd have a lot of fun with that axe, I'm telling you, man. That sounds like fun. Swinging an axe.
Right?
So, yeah, that's some cool stuff. Well, hey, I appreciate you coming on the show.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
And yeah, this is some good information. I've been like I said, I've been wanting a firefighter to come on here and go through this stuff because I just think it's something that's overlooked all the time.
Absolutely.
But
absolutely. And hopefully
thanks again.
Your listeners get something out of that.
Oh, absolutely, man, for sure.
Thank you, John.
So thanks, James, and stay safe out there.
You do the same.
All right.
Thank you.